Hey, what's going on, everybody? Joe Menza here, and I thought I'd get one more in for the end of 2018. I've already applied my 3 coats of water that I usually do, and now I'm doing some raw sienna here. I thought I'd do a quick little mountain scene, just something quick off the top of my head. Probably my usual. Hopefully, you're not getting tired of these scenes, but I just love doing them. Hope everybody had a good year and looking forward to next year. So I figured I'd get one more in. A little bit of a ultramarine blue here with some. I always like to mix a little Payne's gray or something in there. I don't like to do ultramarine just like straight. It just looks a little too bright blue. You could try cobalt, phthalo blue. Experiment with some different blues. Try to make yours look a little more unique. Um, I've added a little bit more Payne's gray into this just to get some darker cloud cover. And I always do these random. You can take pictures of clouds outside and try to get, follow something exactly. I've been doing this now for a while that, I just sort of just do similar things, mountains. I move things around just to get different shapes and things. But I just enjoy doing them so much. That was the reason I got into doing it was I saw, mountains and stuff being painted by some of the online artists and thought, that was something it's just a scene that I really enjoy doing. I'm taking some burnt umber here mixed with a little Payne's gray and a little raw sienna, just trying to define these mountains a little bit. Don't be afraid to go back in and do a few things. I'm using a little bit more water here in the brush. You can see a little bit more cascading down. Something I'd like, you should experiment with too is try it different ways. A little more drier brush, a little more with the water on the brush. I've tried it different multiple ways, and it creates different effects. So my goal really here has always been, I want to see more people come into painting. I found it as such an enjoyment late in life. I wish I had started painting earlier, and if people can find my videos and see this and say, this looks like fun and it looks easy, it will take you practice. I'm not going to lie. It's going to take a lot of paintings to get to a certain point. But, by watching a lot of us paint, you can leap over years of trying to figure things out on your own and techniques. That doesn't mean you have to copy, but if it helps you to reverse engineer what you're seeing done, then by all means do that. Again, I'm sticking again here with the browns and the little bit of ultramarine blue for the foreground areas. I'm using a little burnt sienna just for warmth in a little bit of this. I'm sticking to my normal palette. Sometimes I use cad yellow. Sometimes I'll use lemon yellow. Again, with the main primaries, blue, yellow, and red, try different combinations of these and see what unique look that it gives for you. Sometimes I combine my colors together. I'll use lemon yellow and cad yellow on my palette and just mix them together. Or I'll use some neutral tint mixed with some Payne's gray. There's another artist that I saw that I was listening to an interview of, and he says he combines different colors to go for unique looks. So you can do that. If you got a couple of browns in your palette, like I have Van Dyke brown and I'll have like burnt umber. I'll have, light red, and I may have something like the burnt sienna that's a little bit more reddish, and you combine those, and so you can come up with some unique colors. Hard for me to say exactly how I mix. I know a lot of people say, well, exactly how much percentage did you use versus this and this? I don't really pay attention to that, so maybe that doesn't make me a good, or won't make me a good teacher down the road, but I think just sort of using this as a guideline, you'll figure it out. And that's my goal. I want to see a movement of people coming back to art. Brush on paper, brush on canvas, wherever it leads you to do. Because it's made me happy in my life, and it's given me some things that help for relaxation and this and that. And other people can find it. And that's really my hope, that people, especially for 2019, pick up a hobby like this. The staring at the phones and the iPads. I know we're watching this on a device of some type now, but put it down, go do something where you're creating something and you're just having a good time doing it. And that's my sincere hope, is that people will do that. I'm adding a little bit to the water here. I wanted a little bit more of a glow from like the clouds, so I've wetted it down and I've put a little ultramarine mixed with Payne's Gray again and sprayed it with like a spray bottle so that it just kind of blends in, so that it looks just very faded and subtle. You're still getting the glow of light off the water, but also you're seeing a little bit of reflection in the cloud. So that was my thought process there as I do this. So if you ever remember when you were a kid, if you had those things, they called them color forms. I'm probably really showing my age now, but you'd have like a background, and then you'd have these things, they were like made of vinyl, and they would stick to the surface, and you would stick it on. And you could move things around like people and trees and things like that. I kind of think of that when I'm doing these paintings. Yeah, I've had a lot of, how should I say, inspiration from a lot of other artists, but I think that's the whole. We've got thousands, hundreds, whatever you want to call it, of years of people painting, sort of the same things over and over again, but like rearranging furniture in your room. I'm rearranging, put a mountain here, put a tree here, let's make the water this shape. The compositions may be similar going back to the masters, but you're putting your own spin on there. It's for your own amusement. Hey, if somebody wants to buy a painting from you, that is even a better reward in the end. But your goal should be fun, relaxation, enjoyment, getting into something that takes you out of this everyday world that we're in. That's my message from 2018. The politics, all the stuff that you hear, shut it off. Grab yourself a set of paints and just make some marks on the paper. Don't worry about how good it is. Just have a good time with it. That's what I try to do. And I mean, I feel I've gotten to a point to where people wanted to buy art from me, and that's great. My goal down the road is I'd like to teach more than sell art. I'd like to teach people in a classroom setting. I think that would be the most fun thing you can do. And hopefully that's something I could maybe develop into my retirement years. And that's really a big purpose too for me of doing these videos, to be comfortable doing it, showing it, and hopefully that becomes a thing in time. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. I know there wasn't too much instruction here, but have a happy 2019 and a happy new year if you get to watch this beforehand, but have a good 2019. Let's go in for a close-up. And here's the finished painting, everybody. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.